Welcome to QuickSpeak, the English podcast that helps you improve your English while we explore fascinating topics.
So good.
Today, we're going to talk about something that I think is really interesting.
Okay.
It's the power of positive thinking.
All right.
You know, a lot of people wonder if it's actually possible to change your brain to be more positive, and today we're going to find out.
Yeah, what's so captivating about the brain is that it's not static, like we often think of it as fixed,
Right.
but it's actually incredibly dynamic. It's always evolving.
So it's like our brains are always kind of changing and adapting.
Yes, exactly. And that ability to change is called neuroplasticity.
Okay.
It means our brains can form new connections throughout our lives.
Wow.
Which is pretty amazing when you think about it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that can actually influence those connections is positive thinking.
So the more we think positive thoughts, the more our brains change to reflect that.
Precisely. Positive thinking can actually strengthen those neural pathways related to joy and resilience, making it easier to be optimistic and to handle challenges effectively.
So it's almost like we're exercising a muscle.
Yes.
The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly.
But that sounds almost too good to be true.
Right.
Are there any real-world examples of this happening?
There are. Have you ever heard of the Tetris Effect?
Yeah, I think I've heard of that.
It's a phenomenon where people who play a lot of Tetris start seeing those falling blocks everywhere in their daily lives.
Oh, yeah.
They might see them in buildings or patterns on the floor. It's like their brain is trained to recognize those shapes.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you're saying that focusing on the positive can have a similar effect on our brains.
Exactly. Instead of seeing falling blocks, we start noticing the good things around us.
Okay.
It's like our brain is automatically tuned into positivity.
I like that. So how do we actually start rewiring our brains for positivity?
Right.
Are there specific things we can do?
There are many techniques, and some are surprisingly simple.
Yeah.
One powerful one is practicing gratitude. Even something as basic as writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day
Right.
can make a big difference.
I've heard of that, but I've always wondered why it works.
Yeah.
How does simply writing things down change your brain?
Well, when you focus on what you're thankful for, it shifts your attention away from negative thoughts and feelings.
Okay.
So you're literally training your brain to notice and appreciate the good things in your life.
That's really interesting. It's like we're actively choosing where to focus our attention,
Yeah.
and that shapes our reality. Are there other techniques we can use besides gratitude?
Absolutely. Another powerful practice is mindfulness. Have you ever tried it?
I've heard of it, but I'm not really sure what it is or how to do it.
Mindfulness is all about being present in the moment without judgment.
Okay.
It's like hitting the pause button on your busy mind and just observing your thoughts and feelings without getting carried away by them.
So how do you actually practice mindfulness?
There are various techniques. One is called a body scan, where you systematically bring your attention to different parts of your body, noticing any sensations you feel.
Interesting.
Another is focused breathing, where you simply pay attention to your breath as it goes in and out.
Those sound simple enough,
Yeah.
but I imagine it takes practice to quiet your mind.
It does, but the benefits are worth it. Mindfulness can reduce stress, improve focus, and increase emotional regulation.
Okay.
It's like building a mental muscle that helps you stay calm and centered even when things get tough.
That makes sense. Are there any other techniques that can help rewire our brains for positivity?
Another incredibly valuable one is cognitive reframing.
What is that?
It's about learning to challenge negative thoughts and replace them with more balanced and realistic ones.
So it's like taking those negative thoughts that pop up and consciously changing them.
Exactly. For example, let's say you make a mistake at work and you immediately think, I'm such a failure, I always mess things up. That's a pretty harsh and unhelpful thought, right?
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in that kind of negative self-talk.
With cognitive reframing, you would pause and ask yourself, is this thought really true? Is it helpful? Are there other ways to look at this situation?
Okay.
You might then reframe that thought to something like, okay, I made a mistake, but everyone makes mistakes. What can I learn from this experience, and how can I do better next time?
Yeah, I can see how that would be a more helpful way to approach a mistake. It's like turning a negative into a positive learning opportunity.
Right. And something that's often overlooked when discussing positive thinking is the importance of finding meaning and purpose in life.
Why is that so important?
Yeah.
I thought happiness was all about positive thoughts and experiences.
While those are important, studies have shown that people who feel their lives have meaning tend to be happier and more resilient in the face of challenges.
Interesting.
They have a sense of direction and something that drives them.
So how do we go about finding our own meaning and purpose? It sounds like a big question.
It is a big question, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. But a good place to start is by exploring your values, your passions, and your goals. What truly matters to you? What are you passionate about? What kind of impact do you want to make on the world?
Those are great questions to reflect on. It sounds like finding meaning and purpose is a journey, not a destination.
Exactly. It's about aligning your actions with your values and living a life that feels authentic and fulfilling to you. But even when we try to be positive, we often encounter this obstacle. Our brains are naturally wired toward negativity.
Wait, really? I thought we were making progress on rewiring our brains for positivity.
We are, but we have to acknowledge that our brains have what's called a negativity bias.
Okay.
It means we're naturally inclined to focus more on negative experiences than positive ones. It's like a leftover survival mechanism from our ancestors. Back in the day when our ancestors were trying to survive in the wild,
Right.
they had to be very attuned to threats and danger.
To stay safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So their brains evolved to prioritize negative information because it could mean the difference between life and death.
I see. So even though we're learning all these techniques, it's still an uphill battle because our brains are kind of working against us.
In a way, yes. But the good news is that we can overcome this negativity bias. All those techniques we've been talking about, gratitude, cognitive reframing, savoring positive moments, they all help to retrain our brains to focus more on the good.
That's reassuring to hear. So it's not about eliminating negativity altogether,
Right.
but about creating a more balanced perspective.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging the negative without letting it take over.
Okay.
It's about learning to shift our attention to the positive more readily and effortlessly.
That makes a lot of sense. It sounds like we all have the power to change our brains and create a more positive reality for ourselves. Do you know of any real-life examples of people who've done this successfully?
Absolutely. There are countless inspiring stories of individuals who have overcome incredible challenges and found greater happiness by shifting their mindsets.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have any specific stories you could share? I bet our listeners would love to hear them.
Definitely. One example is the story of Lisa Kohler, who struggled with her weight, her health, and her marriage. She made a conscious decision to change, started exercising, and ended up transforming her entire life.
Wow.
It's a remarkable testament to the power of taking charge of your well-being.
It really is. And I bet her positive mindset played a huge role in her success.
Absolutely. Another inspiring story is that of Chanda Walls. She lost over 100 pounds and became a personal trainer using her own experience to motivate others.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like she turned her own challenge into an opportunity to help others.
Exactly. And then there's Stacey Ames, who completely changed her eating habits after her twin brother had a heart attack.
That must have been a real wake-up call for her.
It was. She realized the importance of taking care of her health and made lasting changes.
It's amazing how a single event can sometimes shift our entire perspective.
It really is. And these stories aren't just about physical health. Nancy Cohen, a cancer survivor, found that her experience, while incredibly difficult, gave her a deeper appreciation for life and a stronger connection with her patients.
So even in the face of adversity, a positive outlook can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. It's not about denying the challenges, but about finding the strength and resilience to move forward.
These stories are so inspiring. They really highlight how much potential we all have within us to change and grow.
It's truly remarkable. And remember, you don't have to wait for a major life event to start incorporating positive thinking into your life.
That's a good point. We can start making small changes today that can have a big impact over time.
Exactly. There are simple habits you can start practicing right now that can make a real difference in your overall well-being.
Like what? Give us some examples. I'm sure our listeners are eager to hear some practical tips.
One surprisingly powerful habit is making your bed every morning.
I've heard that before, but I never really understood why it matters.
It might seem trivial, but it sets a positive tone for the day. It gives you a sense of accomplishment and order, even if it's just a small thing.
I can see how that could create a ripple effect. A small win in the morning can lead to a more positive outlook throughout the day.
Exactly. And of course, we've already talked about the power of gratitude, so incorporating a daily gratitude practice is another game changer.
Right, even just taking a few minutes to appreciate the good things in our lives can have a significant impact.
Absolutely. Another habit that can make a big difference is mindful movement. It doesn't have to be anything strenuous. Even a short walk or some gentle stretching can do wonders for your mood and energy levels.
I love that. It's a reminder that we don't need to overcomplicate things. Simple acts of movement can have a profound effect on our well-being.
Exactly. And speaking of mindfulness, how about mindful eating? Exactly. And since we were just talking about mindful movement, Starting your day with a mindful morning routine can also be incredibly powerful.
What would that look like? I'm intrigued.
It could involve things like taking a few moments to savor your morning coffee, or setting an intention for the day, or doing a short meditation.
Those sound like wonderful ways to start the day with a sense of purpose and peace.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the power of decluttering. Taking some time to organize your living space, even just a small area, can have a calming effect on your mind.
I know, I always feel more relaxed and focused when my surroundings are tidy.
It's like clearing out mental clutter as well.
Right. In today's digital age, setting limits on screen time is crucial, especially before bed.
Absolutely. It can improve your sleep quality and reduce that feeling of being overwhelmed by technology.
It's so easy to get sucked into that endless scroll.
It really is. But making a conscious effort to disconnect can make a big difference.
Yeah. And of course, we can't forget the power of reading. Even a few minutes a day can expand your knowledge, reduce stress, and improve your focus.
Reading is such a great way to relax, escape, and learn something new.
It's like giving your brain a mini vacation.
Exactly. And finally, make time for self-reflection. Taking a few moments each day to think about your experiences, your emotions, and your actions can lead to greater self-awareness and personal growth.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so easy to go through life on autopilot, but taking time for self-reflection helps us stay connected to ourselves and make conscious choices.
Absolutely. It's about taking ownership of your life and your journey.
These are all such great tips.
Yeah.
It sounds like there are so many simple things we can do to cultivate a more positive mindset.
And remember, even if you just start with one or two of these habits, you're already taking a step in the right direction.
Small steps can lead to big changes.
Absolutely. And the key is consistency. The more you practice these habits, the more natural they will become, and the more you'll reap the benefits.
It's like anything else in life.
Hmm.
Practice makes progress.
Well said.
It's really empowering to realize that we have so much control over our own happiness.
It really is, and one of those resources is right here.
Oh, right.
In the description of this podcast, you can visit english-podcast.com for more learning materials related to today's topic, including vocabulary and exercises.
That's right. We've put together some great resources to help you practice your English and learn more about the power of positive thinking. So be sure to check it out.
Absolutely.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to QuickSpeak for more episodes that will help you improve your English and learn fascinating things about the world.
We'd love to have you.
Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of the amazing world of positive thinking. We hope you've learned something new and are feeling inspired to make some positive changes in your own life.
Until next time, keep those positive vibes flowing.